Good morning. It's a pleasant morning. It's great to be in this chamber. I actually realized that I had not been in this chamber for 10 years. I actually had the opportunity to work for Governor Roy Romer as the executive director and a member of his cabinet for the Department of Personnel and Administration, which State Buildings was one of the programs that I managed. And I'm happy to know that the state has decided to make a lead standard for its buildings, because once again, one of the roles of government as a consumer, it can actually lead by example and lead by making the investment around sustainability. I'm really happy here today to represent the city of Denver, but I really believe that what I'm going to talk about is something that actually is going on throughout the state of Colorado, and maybe even more importantly throughout the nation. Local communities are realizing the connection between sustainability, a green economy, and their local economy. In fact, if John Nesbitt was writing, still around to write, I would consider that a mega trend. The mega trend of people realizing that there is a causal connection. The bottom line is climate action and economic growth are not enemies. They are synergistic, and quite frankly, just given where we are in our society today, sustainability is counted on as one of the, quite frankly, most important economic opportunities in our country. Before I start to talk about this project, the Climate Prosperity Project, which I think is really, a very important national project, I wanted to acknowledge CASBA and our nonprofit environmental community. I want to acknowledge them for, quite frankly, keeping the issue of sustainability on the front burner. I'm going to admit to you, there are many of us in economic development and business who are...
You don't need to eat it or hold it in your hand.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Is that better? Great. Thank you. I was mentioning that many of us who are in economic development and business have come to this subject late. And so I really want to compliment the persistence and the grassroots efforts of our environmental nonprofit community. I mean, during this period, the science was questioned, in fact, ignored. There were many who felt that any effort to reduce our consumption, any efforts to reduce the consumption of energy and resources would in fact curtail our economic growth and in fact bankrupt our country. I think we all know that that's not true. We are facing this incredible economic crisis, and it has nothing to do with the sustainability efforts, the desires to essentially consume less. We make up 5% of the population on the planet, and we consume 25% of the resources, including energy. And so, to me, it's coming of age and realizing as a nation that we needed to change that paradigm, I think, is critical and important. I also want to acknowledge the mayor and Michelle Weingart, who heads up our Greenprint Denver. Greenprint Denver is an initiative that Mayor Hickenlooper started in 2006. It really was his plan, his vision around climate action. Michelle heads up implementing that vision and has put together an incredible program that essentially begins to modulate how the city acts. Once again, we too have set a LEED standard, silver standard, for all of our new buildings and construction. I think the vision around the DNC taught us a lot. When the mayor decided to make the DNC, the greenest convention ever, that was a very important vision. And he just demonstrated leadership by putting that vision out there. But more importantly, our community responded. Once again, Greenprint Denver played a major role, but this environmental nonprofit sector also played an important role. What we learned in that process was the importance of collaboration. And you heard Jenna talk about the opportunity for us to work together. And as a part of our economic development strategy, this partnership is important to us. We also learned the importance of putting on educational events, basically educating our community, educating business, and in every case, they were responsive. The legacy of that experience is something that we're building on as a part of our economic development strategy and the climate prosperity strategy. I think that really the continued work around a vision, a partnership, is going to be really vital and key in being able to implement a triple bottom line when it comes to climate prosperity. Finally, I really do want to acknowledge those legislators who are here and the political leadership that we have in our state. Once again, the governor and my boss have championed our new energy economy. I've had an opportunity to travel abroad with both of them in talking about this sector. They understand it, they believe in it, they champion it. And once again, the members of the General Assembly will be considering legislation that will be complementary to supporting the growth of that economy, and maybe more importantly, creating green jobs and new economic opportunities for our state.